Hello and welcome to my channel. I went to Lose Gaming with a brand new Moonchase Festival. What do we get? A walking, talking Guoba that eats Keqing's balls while she investigates who the stove god is. Seems really fishy, but not as fishy as the luxurious Sea Lord, which is a literal swordfish. Get ready to split some gills as we dive into Teyvat with this officially crazy weapon. Ah yes, another great weapon for the F2P player, and yet another reason to call F2P fish to play. What's the catch? Well, let's start off really quickly with how to obtain the luxurious Sea Lord. It wasn't very obvious to me at first, but you need to get 100% exploration for this Moonlight Seeker portion of the Moonchase Festival. This Moonlight Seeker has 40 chests and 30 charms to collect. Then you do the Trail of Delicacies to obtain the first refinement material for the luxurious Sea Lord. As of the first day of this event, you're able to get this weapon to refinement 2. I'm sure that you'll be able to get this weapon to refinement 5 by the end of this event. The luxurious Sea Lord at refinement 2 provides the following. It has 454 base attack, 55.1% attack as its substat, and provides 15% elemental burst damage, as well as proccing a Titanic Tuna when your character does burst damage. At refinement 5, this weapon will end up providing 24% elemental burst damage, and the Tuna will do 200% physical damage. Since I'll be demoing this weapon at refinement 2, you'll be wondering how efficient this weapon is at refinement 5. Thanks to the power of math, we'll be able to quote-unquote compare the luxurious Sea Lord both at refinement 2 and refinement 5 to some other popular weapon options for many of the Claymore characters. Let's start off with the OG Batman LARPer Diluc. As we can see, the prototype Archaic's Elemental Burst did 25,147 damage, while the luxurious Sea Lord at refinement 2 did 26,722 damage, a modest 6% increase in damage. And finally, my refinement 5 Wolf's Gravestone, not for the common fish to play player, did 32,875 damage, a whopping 31% increase from the prototype Archaic. Next, we can see that Diluc's E1, the first part of his elemental skill, did 11,636 damage with the prototype Archaic, while the luxurious Sea Lord did just 63 less damage at 11,573 damage, and finally the Wolf's Gravestone did 15,212 damage. So now let's summarize these results in this chart. As promised, here are the calculations for if my luxurious Sea Lord was at refinement 5, which is what we should actually be fishing for. We can see that the luxurious Sea Lord at refinement 5 would provide a sizable 10% increase to Diluc's burst damage, all while really costing nothing besides an occasional larger white number from the prototype Archaic. All in all, this is a great option for the fish to play Diluc. But let's actually look at some more weapon options for Diluc. We can see in this full chart how the luxurious Sea Lord compares to other top weapon choices for our favorite Batman LARPer. These numbers are damage maximized, so this does favor weapons with crit secondary stats and higher base attack. But you can see how the results are very similar to our in-game showcase. The prototype Archaic is the baseline used for this chart, and looking at this, it's no secret that the Wolf's Gravestone is still Diluc's best option, but basically this fish can be considered an upgrade from the prototype Archaic. Besides, there is very little in life more satisfying than smashing your opponents with a literal burning swordfish. Now let's do a quick demo for Eula. The first thing to note for Eula is that her mini sword explosion from her hold E when she has 2 Grimheart stacks actually counts as burst damage, and will thus activate the fish's passive. This is great additional physical damage to Eula's hold E when you actually want it to proc, unlike the prototype Archaic for example, which often procs when you don't have any of her buffs up. In terms of the raw burst damage, we can see that at refinement 2, the fish is doing 8% more damage than the prototype Archaic. At refinement 5, this jumps up to 12% more burst damage for the luxurious Sea Lord. When it comes to Eula's kit, you want to see those big burst numbers. So here we have another full chart for Eula. We can see that the luxurious Sea Lord outperforms both the Snow Tomb Starsilver and the prototype Archaic for her burst damage, but subsequently performs a bit worse for her basic attacks. One nice thing about the Sea Lord is that you don't have to worry about the enemy having cryo on them, unlike the Snow Tomb Starsilver, to get the most out of its weapon proc. And besides, seeing the highly dignified Eula swing around a giant fish is nothing short of sublime. Eula has definitely met the Gil of her dreams. But let's not forget about the literal freaking pirate, Beidou. Beidou is also an amazing user of the luxurious Sea Lord. For my Beidou, we can see that her damage on her burst per electric tick thing went from 8313 damage with the prototype Archaic to 9019 damage with the luxurious Sea Lord at Refinement 2. Doing some quick math, if the fish is at Refinement 5, we can expect my Beidou to do 13% more damage than with the prototype Archaic. All in all, a great upgrade for our favorite pirate captain. And really quick, here is a weapon chart for Chongyun. Chongyun is another great user of the swordfish because of his burst damage quick swap playstyle. Also, Chongyun's chart is going to be very similar to Beidou's chart, especially in terms of how the weapons rank relative to each other. Essentially, the luxurious Sea Lord is a strict upgrade from the other free-to-play option, the prototype Archaic. One last showcase I wanted to demonstrate is how this weapon performs in a full team for nuking. With this full setup, Diluc's initial Q slash did 352,924 damage with the prototype Archaic, 390,593 damage with the luxurious Sea Lord at Refinement 2, and 440,240 damage at Refinement 5. This is a very impressive boost to Diluc's burst damage, thanks to the luxurious Sea Lord, and will be further boosted when we can finally get it to Refinement 5. So all in all, this is another amazing fish-to-play weapon that MiHoYo has given us in a single patch. However, unlike the catch, the luxurious Sea Lord doesn't have the catch of requiring us to murder over 100 of its fishy brethren, but instead we just need to flap around Liyue collecting chests and slapping monsters. All in all, this is an event fish that all fish-to-play should strive to catch. As for me, well, I'm going to use it whenever I can just to have an excuse to slap my enemies with a giant fish. Also, I regularly make Genshin Impact videos ranging from Caesar showcases, DPS showdowns, guide videos, and more. So be sure to smash the subscribe button as it's the best and easiest way for you to support my work. Also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Win to Lose, fishing out.